Hi guys, hope you're well. It's Sunday evening. It's my name's Arsh Ellahi, and today we're looking at the deal sourcing or deal trading strategy as a whole, and we're going to be discussing why finding deals in 2020. I call this in January the year of opportunity, and what a year it's been. No one would have ever have known that we were going to come across. First of all, when I called it the year of opportunity, I was generally referring to it as Brexit. Little did we know that we as a country, as a world, as a nation, were going to get shut down. And I say that openly because we have pretty much most countries have gone into lockdown, and what an opportunity this is for property investors, full stop. Yeah, anyone that you talk to in property is generally excited about what's going to come and what's going to happen over the next 6, 12 and 24 months. So first thing I'd like to say is that if you're watching on social media, give us a quick wave, give us a quick hello. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. So we've got hundreds, if not thousands of people watching us for this session. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it. So let's get moving on. I've called the session Finding Deals in 2020, the year of opportunity, and I still stand by that. And remember, I called this back in January. So first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your time this evening. I appreciate that. Time is one of the most precious commodities, and I promise you that the next 90 minutes is going to be very worth your while. If you are watching on the webinar, please feel free to give me a hello. Let me know that you can hear me nice and loud and clearly, and that'd be fantastic. If you've got any questions, please feel free to start firing them across now. If you're on social media, please start firing them across, and then let's get moving forward. So brilliant. So Francis saying loud and clear, good evening. Okay, brilliant. Everyone started to come straight through. Right, in the next 90 minutes, what we're going to be covering. By the end of this session, we're going to be looking at how to get started in property with no money and no experience. That's a massive claim, huge claim. I make no apologies about that. And the reason why I say that very simply is because anyone can get involved in property with no money and no experience. And I'm going to be sharing with you 2 case studies this evening as to how people have done this successfully and made 5-figure sums off property with no money and no experience. So I'll also be showing you the quickest way to make cash flow from simply controlling properties and how to find vendors direct and negotiate the best deals. So if you think you're in the right place and you like the thought of everything that you're hearing so far, please give me a quick hello. Please give me a quick yes and a hell yes if this is what you want to, if you want to know about it. Please, this is an interactive session. This will only work if you work. And I say that by putting your hand up, asking a question, and I'll answer as many as we can. You know, we haven't got a time limit here. I want to say a quick hello to Mohammed Khalid, who's online, very good friend of mine. Hi, Khalid. I hope you are, my friend. So why should you listen to me? Why should you spend Sunday evening listening to me? First of all, I'm one of the UK's leading property investors when it comes to deal sourcing and deal trading. So I'm the founder of the UK's first property investment app. It's called Property Investor. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but we're actually on the App Store, and we're 4th on the App Store underneath Rightmove, Zoopla, and On the Market. That's a massive claim. So that makes me one of the leading industry experts for property dealing and property trading. So if you haven't already downloaded the app, please do so. Go to the App Store, type in Property Investor, and you'll see all of my deals there. We've got over 200 properties listed on the app. I should say, first and foremost, I'm a property investor myself and a sourcer second. I've traded I'd say tens of thousands of deals over a span of 19 years. I'm a property investor myself. I've got the best part of 1,100 tenants. So not only am I doing this as a property investor, I'm also doing this as a property trainer. I'm an author and I'm a feature writer. I'm an author of an Amazon bestseller called Boom, Bust and Back Again. As the title suggests, it's never always been an easy journey. I've made lots of mistakes, and I'm here tonight to tell you how to avoid the mistakes. I'm a feature writer in two very well-known industry-led magazines called YPN Magazine, Your Property Network, and HMO Magazine. And finally, recently in lockdown, I launched a podcast called The Property Rebel, because I am a bit of a rebel. Naturally, I'm a bit of a rebel. And we got to, we're in the top 10 of property podcasts. So I've done a fair bit in property. I've helped hundreds of people achieve financial freedom through property, and I'm very proud of that. And every day I still help people every day. And you know, one of the things that I think people like about me and what I've achieved in property is the fact that people can actually reach out to me. I'm not one of these people that hide behind PAs or my team. If you want to speak to me, all you got to do is literally call my office. I'm happy to have a chat with you. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, I'm always there to help. So hopefully you're enjoying this, and hopefully we're going to have a great session. So I'm going to start by saying everyone has a goal. Everyone has a dream. Now, my question to you straight away, and write this down. And the reason why I say write this down, whether you're listening on the webinar, whether you're listening on social media, whether you're on Instagram, whether you are on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, write down your goal for me right now. So when you started 2020 and everyone said, I'm going to smash the back door out of 2020, what did that goal look like to you? Was it that you were going to create an asset class? Were you going to create a portfolio for you? Were you going to do this to secure your family's future? Were you going to do this to escape the rat race? Were you going to do this to make property pay for luxuries such as holidays, such as other things? So getting your kids through college, getting your kids through university. Was it going to help your kids get onto the property ladder? What were those goals? And more importantly, we're addressing these now in July. What do those goals look like right now? The reason why I say that is because your goals would have adapted massively over the last 3 to 4 months. How your employer now sees you could have had a massive impact on your goals. And I've got to say this, and the reason why I say that is that some of you may have been furloughed, some of you have been made redundant, some of you have lost your job, some of you have created new opportunities, some of you are now working from home. It's giving you more time. I know loads of people that have been furloughed and they've been able to spend more time on working on their property business. So Sharon, thank you very much for that, Sharon. Sharon said, I can vouch for that, Arsh. I called your office and you answered the phone. It's fantastic. I do pick up my own phone, believe it or not. I've got no issue with that. So lots of people, Sergey said, I want financial freedom. I want time with my family. Right, okay, so lots of people coming in with their goals. And this is phenomenal because this is your time to make you accountable. Now, I appreciate if you're on social media, you may not want to write it because someone else may see those goals, but this is not the time to be shy. I want to say a quick hi to Andy Cook. Hi, Andy, and it's very apt that you're actually just logged in right now. Now, the reason why I say that is that one of my goals for 2020 was to become in the best shape of my life. And I say this very, very clearly. I turned 40 on the 12th of November. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life for 2020. So not only have I got business goals, I've also got personal goals. Now, I started 30 days ago. I started a program, and the program was very simply to lose weight over the next 30 days, 2 months, and 3 months. And I started that. If you're watching the session, you can actually see my statistics on my screen right now. I started on the 12th of June, and by the end of Friday, just gone, I actually lost 6 kilos, which is equivalent. Now, this is really random. I started at 189 pounds. I dropped down to 176 pounds, which is approximately 13-14 pounds. Now, the reason why I say this is because when we set goals, we set business goals and we set personal goals. My personal goal was to become in the best shape of my life. I've pretty much got to the same weight I was when I got married 10 years ago. I actually fitted back into my wedding suit. Now, the reason why I say this is because I'm actually doing, as a result of doing that program, 30 days, I've now set up a WhatsApp group. And in that WhatsApp group, I'm going to actually help people do exactly the same. So if you put on some pounds in lockdown, don't be ashamed of it. Everyone did it. Absolutely everyone did it. Now, if you want me to try and help you to become accountable over the next 30 days, I'm going to do exactly what Andy did for me. I joined a WhatsApp group with Andy Cook. Andy made me every day be accountable. And as a result of that, I lost £6 and I did very little for it. I didn't have to go start pushing out at the gym or anything like that. I literally just wanted to be accountable. So if you like the thought of that, there's no pressure here, by the way. This is just something for me, for making me make you feel good for yourself. So I've got a bit.ly link. It's called bit.ly/shed the weight. I'll put that if you want to join. Oh, sorry. If you want to join a WhatsApp group where I'm going to be in it as well, or I'm going to have to do this. So if you're watching the webinar, I'll literally just put this in here and I'll send it to everyone. Join a WhatsApp group with me, and over the next 30 days, I'm going to be shedding more weight. And off the back of that, this is really random. And I did think, should I put this in my slides or shouldn't I? And I thought, hey, what the hell? Worst case scenario, I'm going to be helping a lot more people, whether this be on their personal or their business journey. So just put that, if you're watching the session, it's bit.ly/shed the weight. Shed with an S, capital S, the with a capital T, weight with a capital W. That will now get you into a personal WhatsApp group with me. And over the next 30 days, I'm going to help you push and lose as much weight as I did, which I lost over 6 kilograms. I know that's got nothing to do with property, but it's a personal goal, which is a business goal. The better you feel, the better you become. The better you become, the greater the result. And it really is as simple as that. So let's get moving straight back onto property. So how do you visualize success? What does success look like to you? Because everyone's got their own version of success. Now, my version of success is very simple. I want to have a certain amount of properties generating a certain amount of income to what's the best way of describing this? To be able to service my lifestyle. So I like going places, I like doing things, and as a result, I want to be able to be in a position where I never have to worry that I can or I can't afford it. So my main question to you is that you've all got goals. You've hopefully wrote all these goals down. Now my question to you is that what vehicle are you going to use to get you there? What is the purpose that you're going to, or what's the vehicle that's going to get you to the point where you want to go? So let's get moving on. Tonight's session is all about deal trading. So like I said to you guys, Rosemary says, well done with the weight. And Rosemary, if you want to lose the weight, feel free to join the session. Feel free to join the WhatsApp group, and you can do that too. So the one thing I will always say is that the journey is more important than the destination. Too many people get tied up thinking, I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to be super rich, or I'm going to have a certain amount of properties. They forget about the journey. The journey is the most important part. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't enjoy the journey, when you get to a destination, you're going to think, what was the point of it? Now, my goal is very simple. I'm going to turn 45 on the 12th of November, 2025. I've set all my property debt and everything to expire on the 11th of November 2025, which means that the moment I wake up on the 12th of November, I'm completely debt free. That's my goal. That's my destination. Now, the journey is what I do in between. What am I going to do? I'm going to buy properties. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to rent them out and turn them into HMOs, blocks of flats, development. So I'm going to do the whole lot. However, in order to do that, I need to understand what I need to do to get to that point. So I've got a portfolio of properties. Yes, they're making money. I've got deal trading arm, which makes money every month. I've got a rent-to-rent portfolio, which makes money every month. I do developments, but only on a smaller scale. I used to do developments on a much larger scale, 200 to 300 units. I don't do that anymore. That's not my bag. I found that that was not my niche. Not everyone can be brilliant in everything, and that wasn't my bag. Okay, so let's keep moving on. So what is deal trading? Just so that I know, for the people on the webinar and the people watching, does everyone understand what kind of deal trading is? So if I spell it out for you very simply, deal trading it's a matchmaking service. The way that I see it, it's very much a matchmaking service. We are a glorified estate agent. That's the best way of describing it. We are a glorified estate agent. We go to a vendor, we match an investor to a property which homeowners have either failed to sell, or we see opportunities that the investors have not seen themselves previously. We help investors find properties which they would not have found without our help, and we create real win-win scenarios. And it really is as simple as that. We don't do anything magical. We go and find a vendor. We find a vendor, we negotiate the deal, we package it in a manner which everyone understands, and then we sell it out to our investors. And we make a fee for that service. Now let's think about this. It's exactly the same as what an estate agent does. Estate agents get a property, they put it on Rightmove, they wait for people to call, and then they show them around, hopefully they sell the property. They make their money off the seller. Now, as a deal trader, you can either make your money off the seller, or you could make your money off the buyer. The reason why I charge the buyer as opposed to the seller is because first, we're going to probably try and negotiate a discount from the vendor, so we don't want to kick them whilst they're down. And second of all is that we get to work with a lot more vendors if we don't charge them a fee. Now, if they say, well, Arsh, okay, you're going to try and sell my property and you're not charging me anything, which is great, which means that I'll get more money in my pocket. Or I can go to Connells or another estate agent in the country, and they're going to charge me approximately 2%. Who do you think that they're going to go and start work with? Who do you think that they're going to give you the first opportunity? Think about it logically. Naturally, if I say that the house is worth 100,000, and if you come to me, I'll try and get you the 100,000. Or if you go to Connells, they're going to put it on for 100,000. Then after their costs, you're going to probably net around circa 97. Which one's the most attractive to you right now? Think of you as the vendor, and I'm asking you that question. Does that make sense? So have a think about it. So I've got lots of questions coming in. So David has said, how do you calculate the fee that you charge? Great question, David, and I'll answer that right now. Basically, the fee, you can work on a fixed percentage. So you could say that, let's just say that the house was worth 100,000 and you've negotiated it down to circa 80,000. You could charge 2% of the fee, so 2% of the purchase price. So 2% of 80,000 could be around £1,600 plus VAT if you're VAT registered. However, or alternatively, you could look at the way that you've packaged it. So you can look at the cash flow model. You could have a look at what kind of discount you're generating. So my average fee is around, at the moment for 2020, it's around, it's about 4,000 per property. I don't mind disclosing that. Yeah, I'm very transparent with the figures. I'm very, very transparent with the figures. So, you know, we kind of, it's about 4,000 that we charge per property. So, but that is when we put that figure out there, we have a look at how much cash flow the property could produce, what kind of discount. More importantly, I suppose the thing that I'm trying to get across is that I can try and calculate how much value have I added into the deal. More importantly, without me, would they have been able to do this deal? So surely there's a sense of worth there from my point of view. Never underestimate your worth. And I would definitely say that, because if you underestimate your worth, you'll be selling deals for pennies, and that means that you've done a load of work for very little money. Why don't you do a load of work and actually make some decent money from it? So these are the things that I'm trying to get you around. Let's adapt your mindset. Let's understand what you're doing, and let's understand, you know, how you can make some real money from this. Has that answered your question, David? Please feel free to let me know. So in 2019, I'm going to throw out my goals. So in 2019, I traded, and I say this, and this is quite a large number, this is quite high level numbers. I traded £54 million worth of property. Now, I didn't buy it, I didn't own it, I literally traded that value. So if you have a look at what some estate agents say that we've traded an X amount of properties, all the properties that I traded, that's the net gross value of the property. So £54 million worth of property. And that was just me, one-man band, mobile phone and laptop. I haven't got no fancy systems or anything like that. We can all create fancy systems. I'm quite simple in that respect. I'd rather literally just have a mobile phone and a laptop and be able to do this from anywhere in the world. So I traded £54 million worth of property in 2019. and that was pretty much more than most estate agents in the country. Now, pre to COVID-19, my predictions for 2020, I had some huge goals. Where I wanted to trade over 1,000 properties in 2020, but then COVID come along and it's kind of knocked that out of the water. However, saying that, over the last few weeks, the property market's been on absolute fire. We're selling on around 10 to 15 deals a week just off the app. So we could potentially, if we gave it a real push, get quite close. We'll definitely smash 2019 figures. Whether we try and get to that 1,000 properties is quite a big ask now, because we lost quite a big period of the year. I had some personal goals. In February, I did the Ironman 70.3, which is a half an Ironman. I did that in Oman, in Muscat, which was quite a hot country, and I completed that. Tick. And the reason why I wanted to get the best shape is because I wanted to do an Ironman, my full Ironman, in July the 12th. Unfortunately, that's been cancelled. Like I said, I turned 40 this year. I wanted to have done that before November this year. Unfortunately, that's been cancelled. So I'm trying to see what I can do to do another event before November this year. So, plans, and the reason why I put that up is that plans do not always go. The plans do not always go according to plan. So there will be things that throw out. COVID-19, no one could have expected that, and as a result of that, that's thrown a lot of business plans out the water. So people will have to start again from 2021. So let's look at the 3 principles of deal trading. There's 3 main principles. So treat it as A, B, and C. Now, principle A is the vendor. That's the homeowner. That's the person. Okay, there's a great question. So Construct My Skills has come in on Instagram, says, Arsh, I've got a few properties with good numbers, but we have no investors. Where can we find these people? Download the Property Investor app. It's completely free, and we can actually upload your properties there, and we can work where we can sell to our database of over 100,000 people. I don't understand why people haven't clocked onto this yet. Download the app now. So there's 3 principles. So principle A is the vendor. They're the person that needs help selling their property, where they may have tried to sell it with an agent. The agent hasn't sold it just purely because of COVID and all the other things that are going on in the market. They may be quiet. So they're now looking for a plan B. What's plan B? Plan B could be that they're now looking to sell it to an investor, because it may be that style of property. Now, principle B is you. You are the most important part out of this whole system. The reason why I say that, you're going to be the person that puts it all together. You're the person that's the best at understanding investment properties, and therefore you're going to be the person that gets the property, packages it, and now we introduce principle C, who is the investor. The investor is a person that's looking for a property that doesn't matter where it is. We've dealt with properties right up in Scotland. We've dealt with properties right down towards Land's End, right down towards Devon and Cornwall, etc. I'll talk to you about an example in Cornwall later on down in this presentation. And these are all deals that we've done. And if you're an investor and let's just say that you're in London. I get calls from investors from London all the time, and they all call me, "Hi, Arsh, I'm from London." I say, yeah, great, okay. I've got investors that call me from Australia. I've got investors that call me from other sides of the world: Hong Kong, China, Dubai, South Asia, Malaysia, everywhere. I speak to people from everywhere. And as a result of that, now I get the deal, I package it up, and now I put it in a manner which an investor understands, and we sell it to the investor, and we make a fee from the investor for putting it out to them. Does everyone understand that? So Lee says, have you seen a significant growth of overseas investors? Yes, I have. I'll talk about the why now is going to be a real instrumental point for overseas investors now, especially with the new stamp duty new stamp duty rules that the Chancellor has put in place, that from next year, they're going to have to pay a surcharge if they want to invest in the UK. So now we're going to see a massive influx of property, overseas property investors come in and start spending before this surcharge comes into place. So 3 principles, deal trader. You've got the vendor. We need to understand what is their pain and what is their motivation. Why should they be dealing with us? Yeah, more importantly, us as the sourcer, the estate agent, shall we call, the glorified estate agent. Why should we be dealing with the vendor? Now, we're best suited at understanding the problem. Now, an estate agent, let's just pick on Connells, on Reeds Rains, or some of the, the nationals. When they go to meet a vendor, do they really care about the vendor's pain and motivation? All they're really cared about is that instruction. They don't think about how can we turn this into a real win-win scenario? Do you understand that? If you're a property investor, do you understand that? Okay, right, I'm just quickly going through. So lots of people saying, if Reeds Rains or Connells come out to your property, do they ask, what's the reason for your sale? Why are you selling this? Have you thought about this solution, or have you thought about that solution? Or they'll say, yeah, Mr. Ellahi, you've got property. Yeah, I think we could sell this to someone that we'll find on Rightmove, and we'll value your house at £100,000. And we'll try and sell it, within 3 to 6 month period. The market's a bit slow. We've had COVID, we've had Brexit, we've got a few other issues. But this is the difference. Now, when I go to them, I say, guys, okay, I understand that you've got this property. Now, tell me your circumstances. No, find out what is their pain, what is their motivation, why do they want to sell, what's the real underlying issue, and create a solution for it. So there have been scenarios where I've been to people and they wanted to sell their property, but in actual fact, the sale was not going to be the solution that they required. We've then turned it into stuff like a rent to rent. We've then turned it into like a lease option. There's so many different ways that you can create win-wins for vendors without actually having to adjust their purchase price, or so that they're not losing money. Estate agents don't care about that. So I'm just being very clear. As Steve said, no, they don't care. Absolutely. And you've got to look at this from our point of view. Now, people go and put their house on the market straight away, and that's not always the best solution, in my personal opinion. I should add a little disclaimer here that everything that I say is my personal opinion. So why I love deal trading, very simply, rule number 1, I get to see the best deals first. As one of the UK's largest deal traders, I see pretty much most of the deals in the UK. I'd see, there's not many deals that I would not have seen in the UK. I don't have to deal with tenants because I'm not owning the property. I'm not renting it out. I'm simply controlling or facilitating the sale. Does that make sense? I'm literally facilitating the sale, and therefore I don't have to deal with tenants, which means that I don't have to deal with rent debt, voids, maintenance, no bank borrowings, because I'm not buying it. I'm literally 100% hands-free investing. Now, people find this really hard. Now, let's think about it from an estate agent's point of view. When the estate agent comes around to your property, what are they doing? They're facilitating the sale. As a deal sourcer, that's exactly the same thing that I'm doing. I'm facilitating the sale. So we're going to come through a lot of these things, Daniel, that you're asking. Don't panic, my friend. We've still got a fair amount of time. So you're not tying up any capital. That's why I said at the start of this session that deal trading is the best way to start with no money and no experience. You can start it and stop it anytime you require, and it can be done from anywhere around the world. All you need is a mobile phone and a laptop. So just so you know, when I went to Oman in February to do the half Ironman, I was actually doing this from Oman. I was making all the calls from my mobile phone, but the number that people saw me ringing from was office landline. So I set up a VoIP landline. So VoIP is almost like an internet-based landline service, and you literally can call. So all my calls come from a 01902 number, but in actual fact, I was actually calling them from Oman in Muscat. So you can do this anywhere in the world. And Making calls on a VoIP system is completely free, providing that you've got an active and a strong internet line. So there's a little tip for you. Then I've got my laptop. I can do all my research there, and I can literally facilitate everything by my laptop. Sourcing does not have to stop at property. You can the skill can be utilized to source almost anything. So that's why I love deal trading. Once you understand the skill, you can source absolutely anything. Now, more important, the other reason why I love deal trading, no solicitors involved. No solicitors that you have to deal with. No surveyors, no refurbishment works, no builders, no contractors. So therefore, it's no risk. You don't own anything, so therefore there's nothing that can go wrong. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, you deal with a vendor, you get their property, and off the back of getting their property, you haven't sold it. You haven't sold it to an investor, and that's when they, you're very clear and clean to the vendor. We packaged it in a manner which we thought was going to sell to a property investor. We put it out to an investor database. No one's really, no one's really taken to it. However, we've got two opportunities now. We can either renegotiate, try and make it a little bit more attractive for them, or you've then got that option of then going and put it on with retrains and Connells, etc. And become very clear about that. You're not going to sell every property that you source. Anyone that thinks that they're going to do that, again, is starting off on the wrong foot. And I'm very clear and honest in my approach. Let's not make this. So, okay, so Max says, what's that mobile phone landline app? So if you just type into Google VoIP telephone system, so VoIP is VoIP. I think it's virtual office and whatever IP stands for. Sorry, I'm not that technical when it comes to names. So if you type in VoIP, you can literally get that. And literally, whilst I was in Muscat, when I'm over in Dubai, I make all my calls then come from a 01902 number, but I could be sat on a beach. You would never know that I'm sat on a beach, or I could be sat at a hotel lobby, or wherever it may be. As far as they're concerned, I'm calling from Wolverhampton. And that's a phenomenal thing. So there's loads of systems out there, and believe it or not, they're not very expensive as well. So right, okay, so let's get straight into it, guys. I'm going to actually introduce a younger man, and if you're watching my webinar, you've got a picture of him, and I've actually put him in all my marketing. The guy's name is Jay Uday. I'm hoping he's online. Here he is. Right, okay, so I'm going to introduce Jay now. So I just hope he's online. I like to do these things interactive. So Jay, if you're online, I'm hoping you're not just using your mobile phone, and you've probably got a laptop, because I do want to speak to you. Please let me know that you can hear me, and let's get it moving forward, because Jay is a new property investor, don't mind saying that, and he came over. So Sammy says VoIP stands for voice over internet phone. So there we go, very explanatory. So Jay, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Hi there.
Fantastic, welcome, Jay. Okay, you're a little bit faint, my friend. Can you get slightly closer to the phone?
Yes, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Perfect. Okay, so guys on social media, can you hear Jay? Let me know, yes or no. Okay, so Jay is had no property experience, had no money to invest, and was a full-time teacher. So Jay, can you just tell us very quickly about your background?
Yeah, so my background is in teaching, didn't have any experience sourcing, and I joined you in January actually, and I sourced my first HMO deal in January, with yourself in Stoke-on-Trent. But then
this call's not about me, my friend. It's all about you and what you do. If that makes sense. Don't worry about me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I jumped on the program with yourself, and I sourced a couple of HMO deals. One fell through because of COVID, but one actually sort of kind of completed a couple of weeks ago. But then I realized that in terms of this market, sometimes with the conveyancing, it can take a long time. And you said that rent-to-rent deals can sell 4, 5, 6 times over, 10 times over. And I listened to that, and I began to focus on rent-to-rent deals. And having the property investor app was a great amount of credibility, I think, in terms of being able to find buyers for these deals. So, for example, one deal I found on the Monday, and then I brought it to yourself, and we were able to negotiate together with the vendor, and that deal was able to close on the Friday. And that shows how there's different strategies, like rent to rent, can be very quick in terms of turning over the deal because of no conveyancing, and it being a sort of kind of quicker transaction in that respect. So yeah.
So what Jay had done, Jay had found he'd started sourcing stuff with purchases, and he found that the process sometimes can be a bit slow because you're reliant on the purchaser trying to get a mortgage and go through all that process. And Jay wanted a little bit like quick cash, and he wanted stuff to come in and out, in and out, in and out. So I said to Jay, start working on rent-to-rent deals, start negotiating with vendors, start negotiating with agents. And that's exactly what he did. And he's now found his niche. Sometimes the way that I describe it is that when you're trying to learn to ride a bike, the toughest thing to do is understand to get the balance right and understand what you're good at. Are you good at going straight? Are you good at going around corners? And that's probably the best analogy, because I've just taught my daughters how to ride their bikes. And Jay has found his niche when it comes to rent-to-rent deals. And within the space of the last 4 weeks, Jay has been paid out on a rent-to-rent deal in Coventry. Now, all his deals, for some reason, were in Coventry. Now, Jay, where are you based?
I'm based in London town.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Jay, let me ask you one very quick question. How many times have you been to Coventry?
I've not been there recently, a couple of years ago actually, but to source these deals, I just used my Wi-Fi access and my phone to call the investors, and I found the deals on Spare Room actually, and Facebook.
Okay, don't give
So yeah.
don't give away all your secrets, Jay. Don't give away. Right, okay.
Yeah.
So Jay has found his vendors direct. He spoke to them on the phone, and literally he's negotiated the deal on the phone. He's made the vendor provide him with all the information, like all the photos, all the floor plans, and all we've done is literally present this information in a format which an investor knows. And off the back of that, he's done a rent-to-rent deal in Coventry, direct to the owner. Literally sourced one day, sold the next day. And he actually made a fee. Well, we charged a fee of £4,000 for that property. Second property, this one was direct with an agent, a letting agent. And there's 2 properties next door to each other. They struggled to rent it. Off the back of that, Jay agreed a rent. We negotiated slightly on the rent, and he did a deal with them, and he charged £8,000 for that deal. So these are all actual figures. These are all figures that he's actually made. Third property, rent-to-rent deal, direct to the owner, another £4,000. Fourth one, dealt with an estate agent. Now this one hasn't completed yet. Don't mind saying that. We only put this up last week. The person went to view it on Saturday. I think they've confirmed that they're good to go. So hopefully that will complete this week. And then the HMO deal that Jay was talking about, the one that he'd done in Stoke, that completed this week, or it was either this week or within the last week, within the last 2 weeks. And the sourcing fee on that was £5,000. So in total, the total amount of fees that Jay has generated is £25,000 within the last month. Now that's crazy money, £25,000. Jay, how are you feeling, by the way?
Very very happy actually, in terms of the hard work paying off, and also the fact that there's a program out there in which you're able to sell to buyers, because there's a lot of programs out there where it's good theory and you learn the methods, but you're left to find the buyers yourself. But you've got some active buyers there, and it just makes the process a lot easier if you source the right properties that people want. Yeah.
So one of the questions that's actually coming through, so they're saying, so has Jay found rent-to-rent deals for my investors? Yes, that's exactly what he done. He found the deals. I put it up on the property investor app, and we sold them within, some of them within the space of 10 minutes, some of them within the space of an hour. And then all of a sudden, what happens is that the investor pays us the holding deposit. They then go and view it. They come back and say yes or no, they like it, yes or no, they don't like it. If they don't like it, don't worry. We've got lots of other people that will like it. And if they do like it, great, we move on and we get all the contracts drawn up. And it literally is as simple as that. So Jay has kind of found his niche. He's now, once the first deal completed, he got the taste of it, and he actually saw the money hit his bank. Next thing you know, I've got another deal in my inbox, and he's saying, Arsh, let's have a look at this. Another one came through, another one came through, another one came through. He's now on a roll. He's now on a roll. Once you understand it, once you get it, once you've got your flow moving, there's no stopping him now. So Jay, what do you want to tell us about how easy, now that you understand the process, how easy is it for you?
It is a case of just following the process, and sort of kind of just making the calls in essence, and being confident that there are buyers who want these rent-to-rent properties. So it's very much easy if you follow the process in terms of contacting these landlords who need help, and they've got the problem of empty properties. So we just offer the
How many landlords have you contacted, Jay? So be honest
yeah.
here. Obviously, we're here to help people. So from your point, how many calls have you made?
For rent to rent in particular, let's say 50.
Okay, fine. So you made 50 calls, great. And so lots of people would have said no, or they probably didn't understand your offering yet, or they're probably not motivated or got enough pain yet. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The key is the follow-up. So are you keeping details of these? Are you following up with them on what you're doing?
Yeah, I've got a spreadsheet actually, and I tend to follow up with people who are indecisive and maybe thinking about it like once a week. Some people are like, no, I'm okay to rent this out myself. It's my only property that I have, so I want to keep this one for myself. But some people who potentially might have empty student houses, I say, this could fit a professional let in a sense, and they like that angle, and it's an empty
Okay.
house, and so it's an angle that they're willing to entertain, so to speak, because
Okay,
they
so just so you know, if someone says no today, it doesn't mean that they're not going to say yes tomorrow. And the reason why I say that is because every day that passes, every week that passes, and they've got a void, they've got some either bad debt or they've got something going on, that's going to increase the pain. That's going to increase the motivation for them to do something with you. The most important words that you should be taking away from this session is pain and motivation. So if someone says, no, Arsh, don't worry about it, I think I've got this. I said, you know what? I wish you all the very best. I hope you get the success that or the outcome that you desire. However, just so you know, I'm in the background. If you want me as your plan B, and then off the back of that, that's where they come back to us literally 2, 3, 4 weeks later. I've had some people come back to me months later and said, you know what, Arsh, I wish I kind of took you up on that offer. I had one landlord that had a group of properties down towards the south. And he said, Arsh, he goes, my property is going to fly out. No issue with that. Guess what happened? COVID happened. No one was moving. No one was allowed to move. And I contacted him during lockdown. Okay, how you getting on? Not to rub salt in the wounds. That's not what I'm about. I'm all about positivity. I'm all about sharing, helping people. That's what I'm all about. And he goes, oh, she goes, I kind of wish I took you up on your offer. I said, the offer's still there, my friend. And he goes, what, even in COVID? I said, yeah, let's do a deal. Let's do a deal. And we were still active. We're a platform. We were still active. And I said to him, I put this up on the app today. I'll find you someone by tomorrow, the day after. And that's where it came. The key is in the detail and the follow-up. Okay, so Kathleen said, Jay, what made you look so specific to Coventry? Why Coventry? That's a good question. I've never really asked you that question. Why Coventry? Because the first deal that you did was in Stoke. And
yeah.
Actually, sorry, Jay, let me stop you there.
Okay.
Let me quickly answer that. Kathleen, just so you know, with deal trading, there's no exact science here. There's, one day you could be looking at property in Coventry. Tomorrow you could be looking in Kettering. The day after you could be looking in Grimsby. The day after that you could be looking in Doncaster. There's nothing stopping you from looking for a deal anywhere in the country. And this is a beautiful thing. Now, if you were to join a franchise program, they lock you to a certain area. If you were to become an estate agent, you're governed to only work in your area. As a deal sourcer, you work where the hell you want. So, Jay, go on. Why Coventry?
Because I actually found my first two properties there, like in terms of the letting agent. So I got some traction there, and then I began to see that because I began to know the area and I packaged one in Coventry that I pinpointed, and I got to speak with a lot of the letting agents and landlords in Coventry. So I kind of niched down, and that enabled me to contact a lot of landlords very, very quickly. And when I got one deal in Coventry, I said, look, Mr. Landlord, I got one deal in CV1 last week. You know, how about we do another deal? Because look, I've got a track record. And it just helped things to propel faster, having had case studies in one area, basically. Yeah.
I suppose it also helps, Jay, that I'm probably in your corner. And if they
That,
say, well, can you tell me your experience? You say, well, in actual fact, I may not have a lot of experience, but my mentor or my business partner, Arsh Ellahi, and by all means, Google him. And then all of a sudden, when they stick my name into Google, it comes up with hundreds, if not thousands, of hits of videos that I've done, of talks that I've done, of articles that I've wrote for the industry. It kind of says, okay, these guys are serious.
yeah, Arch, I've got a question for you actually. Are you more likely to find buyers around the Midlands area because you've
It
got
doesn't
more
matter.
connections? No?
Jay, like this week, I sold a property down in Torquay.
Okay.
This week, I sold a property up in Scotland, and
Wow.
everywhere between.
Okay.
The
So the
property,
buyers are
the
everywhere.
location is irrelevant. You've got to remember, with over 100,000 people on my database,
Yes.
you know, they're not all going to go and rush to Doncaster. They're not all going to rush to Grimsby. They're not all going to rush to Liverpool. I put one property up in Liverpool. It wasn't last week. It was a week before, and I had 6 people from China call me instantly. And they said, Arsh, I want this. I want this. We actually started, it wasn't a bidding war because that's not how I operate, but it was the first person that could secure the deal. And this lady from China hadn't viewed the property. She just goes, yeah, I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures. I like it. I want it. And she secured it there and then. And that was for another one of my mentees called Sam Newman. So that was his deal. So, right, I'll tell you what, Jay, hold the line for there for 1 second.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're watching on social media, we've been on a hell of a lot longer. We've been on 45 minutes. We're only normally on for 20 minutes. Kind of let time run away with me. If you like what you've listened to and you want to follow the full session, you've now got to join the link to follow the webinar. But on that note, guys, I wish you all a great evening, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Good night. So, guys, on the webinar, stay with me, right? Because we're now, that's it. We're me and you live. Right, brilliant. Okay, so let's get moving forward. Okay, so that's that done. Brilliant. So now, guys, okay, so this is Jay. Obviously, you're watching Jay here, and Jay. So are we able to see one of your example videos? So sorry, Kathleen, what do you mean by example videos? Tell me what you mean by that, and I'll try and help. Let's get moving on. We've got lots of content to still get through, by the way. Okay, so here these are some of Jay's deals that he's done. These are actually his deals. So we've got the rent to rent deal. That's the one that the person went to see on the weekend, will touch base, but hopefully off the back of that we go from there. We've got the rent to rent deal, which is sold. We've got the other 2 rent to rent deals that is sold. We actually did one rent to rent deal. We didn't actually put it on the app. We literally sent it just to a couple of investors that were interested in rent to rent in that area, and it sold without actually going on the app. Okay, so here we go. So Kathleen says, like the lady who saw the video in Hong Kong. Okay, so it's literally just, I'll tell you what I can do. I will share the video actually, Kathleen. All it is literally a walkthrough of the property. A walkthrough of the property. Here's the property. Here's what it's all about. Here's room 1. Here's room 2. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. I'll show one of these videos towards the end of the session. Let's get through the content. So Jay, now admittedly, Jay's one of my mentees. Don't mind sharing that. He had no experience. He came to the office in January, and admittedly, when people come to the office, there is no messing about because you're in the office, you're encroaching on my time. So therefore, you sit opposite me, and I made him call literally about 50 people that day. And he goes, I turned him into a yes machine. When I listened to his conversations, I said, Jay, you shouldn't be saying that. No, you shouldn't be saying that. This is how you should be framing it. This is how you should be talking to the vendor and literally saying, guys, okay, I can really help you with that and that process. Off the back of that, he did 2 deals that day. One of them fell through, one of them completed. So, and again, I'm not here to say that all deals will complete. You know, rent-to-rent deals will pretty much, you know, 1 in 10 will not complete. The other 9 will definitely complete when it comes to rent-to-rent. So here's another guy. So Jay, stay on the line for me, please, because there's going to be lots of people wanting to ask you questions. Is that okay?
Okay. No worries. No worries.
Brilliant. So brilliant. If you've got any questions for Jay, write them down, and let's get moving on with the rest of the content. Now, here's another guy, a very inspirational guy, a guy called Temur. He's a young lad. He's based in Wolverhampton. I've known Temur approximately 30 years. And as a result of that, he said to me, he goes, Arsh, I've got a very busy printing company, but I want to start doing more stuff in property. And I've seen that you're doing quite a lot in property. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll help you as if I can. And I taught him the basics of deal trading, and he's flying. He's absolutely flying. He's done deal after deal after deal. And if we look on the app, I can show you all the deals that he's done. He's done a 6-bed HMO in Hull, completely completed. This has charged 4K to the vendor. Sourced it by an estate agent on Rightmove. Took approximately 1.5 to 2 hours to source, analyse, call the agent, and get exclusivity and package up. Sale agreed within 7 days through Arsh's investor database. He goes, considering I never viewed, he's just that, you know, I teach people not to view the property. I don't think you need to view a property. All the properties on the app, I haven't viewed a single one of them. I get the vendor and I get the agents to do all the work. That's one of my key benefits. I'm not a busy fool. I don't want to be running around the country trying to find, you know, view properties. That's not what I'm about. I'll be 100% certain and honest on that. So literally, he goes, considering I never viewed the property, it charged 4K fee. It's fantastic for a couple of hours work. Wouldn't you agree? Property number 2, HMO rent to rent. 5-bed HMO in Wolverhampton. He went direct to the vendor, proposed a solution, and managed to get a 3-year rent to rent deal agreed. In return, this property cash flows. So just so you know, when you're deal trading, you don't have to trade everything. There's no law that says that you have to trade everything. There's nothing stopping Jay from having kept all those properties that he sourced. And he could have built himself a portfolio. Now, this one gives Temur a cash flow of around £550 to £600 a month. Property number 3, deal number 3, 2-bed apartment in Birmingham city centre. He went direct to the vendor and got a 3-year rent to rent. In this one now, he runs the rent to SA, so rent to service accommodation, again producing him around £600 a month. Property number 4 and property number 5 were 2 properties next door to each other in Stoke. They were for sale. Temur went and negotiated a 7-year lease option with them, with the vendor. He again never viewed it. All the pictures were provided by the owner. We sold those literally within a day, and we charged £5 per, sorry, not £5, £5,000 per property. So made 10 grand for those 2 deals. This one's due to complete this week. It's a property in Bridgewater. Now, for those that don't know, Bridgewater is literally down south towards Devon. And this is a fully tenanted and income-producing asset, 5-bed HMO. Sourced by an estate agent, took approximately 2 hours to source. Sale agreed within 14 days. Took a few more days to agree, but that one's over the line. We charged a 5K fee to the investor. Now, one thing I will say, no need to be a one-trick pony. If you notice, everyone does different deals. Temur's a great example of that. One's a HMO, one's a service accommodation, one's a rent to rent, one is a single let deal. The key is understanding all the strategies so that you should be able to monetize every deal that you do. Does that make sense? Sorry, yes. So Yeah, it's in Somerset, sorry, not Devon. So no need to be a one-trick pony. Does everyone understand? For those that only focus on 25% below market value deals, you're missing 99% of other opportunities because it's a very narrow market. Not everyone wants to sell you their property for 25% below market value. You've got to be able to understand deals that are below market value. You've got to be able to understand deals that are full market value. You've got to be able to understand the rent to rent. You've got to be able to understand lease options, assisted sales, exchange and delay completions, planning gains, land deals, commercial to residential. Now, yes, it may take a bit of time to understand the strategies, but by doing so, every vendor or every property you look at, you should be able to come up with a solution. And I'm very clear in that. And now is the perfect opportunity. Now, COVID, think of all the companies. I was out with some mates, socially distancing, of course, last night. And one of them actually works for the RAC. And he goes, Arsh, he goes, that our employers are saying that we're not actually going back to our offices. He goes, that so he works in the technology department for RAC. He goes, you know, pretty much all 1,500 members of our staff are all working from home. We're all now set up from home. We're not going into our HQ. He goes, we rent our places in Birmingham. He goes, we're not going back to that. Now, someone somewhere owns that property. Now, if they had a long lease with RAC and now all of a sudden they've now got a vacant building, what do you reckon that landlord's going to be thinking? More importantly, that's just one example. Now, in Birmingham this year, well, sorry, in Birmingham this week, John Lewis has now said that they're no longer returning back to work in Grand Central in Birmingham. That's a massive unit. Who owns that? More importantly, what's going to happen now? I appreciate that shopping centre, but you can work on all kinds of levels. A small shop in the middle of the high street. Someone owns that building. You know, a shop, an office space somewhere. Someone owns that building. There's going to be lots of pain. There's going to be lots of motivation to do deals. You know, all the student accommodation. Students aren't going back in September because they're worried about social distancing. They're worried about all the sessions now being online. They don't need to be at university. So therefore, lots of student houses are now available. Lots of student landlords are panicking. And this is the time of the market. This is the time for you to excel. There is no better time than what we've got right now. There are going to be lots of people wanting to do deals. It's all for you to take it. We've got the boom. We're currently in a mini boom. Now, but after the boom, what happens? What happens after the boom? We get the bust. So at the moment, we've come out of COVID-19 or we've come out of lockdown, and the government's pumping loads of money into the economy saying, guys, okay, let's keep it moving, let's keep it moving, let's reduce stamp duty, let's give you grants, let's give you lockdown loans, let's give you let's give you bounce back loans, let's give you grants, etc. This is an attempt to keep the economy moving. The moment the government turn that tap of money off, we then go into the bust. That's where we see the real action. That's where we see recession. That's where we see debt. That's where we see, you know, people panic. That's where we start to see lease options. That's where we see rent-to-rent deals. That's where we see below market value deals. I've seen this over and over again. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've come through 2 recessions, and I've seen this happen massively. And then you, as a trader, you're there literally to mop up all the deals. And when I say mop up all the deals, I can't make it any easier than that. So does everyone understand the opportunity? Quick yes or no. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so let's keep moving on. There's going to be so much uncertainty in the market. What's going to happen with property prices? What's going to happen? The introduction of Section 24, that hasn't really kicked in yet. Interest rates, what's going to happen? You know, we're at the lowest point ever. At some point, they've got to increase. How's the economy going to adjust after leaving? How are we going to deal with coronavirus? The businesses will be desperate to start again Businesses, not only that, we've got furlough, we've got people being made redundant. What's going to happen if they're made redundant? Are they then going to start to lose their properties? Are they now going to want to start to do deals? This is all what happens. Estate agents are desperate to work with us. They've had 4 months off. They've had 4 months off because it's the first time in history that the government said, guys, shut your doors. You're not an essential business, shut your doors. Therefore, you've got to look at their model as a business model. They only make money if they sell a property. How could they have done that if they weren't open? Does that make sense? How could they have done that if they weren't open? So therefore, now, over the last 4 months, they've lost a hell of a lot. They've lost a hell of a lot of money in terms of fees. They've not been able to view properties, therefore no sales. We've seen it with auction houses. They've not been able to view properties, therefore their sales have dropped from circa 85% to near enough 50%. They're now having to do video walkthroughs. Now you, as a property investor, if you're trying to buy a property, think about this logically. If you're trying to buy a property and it's going to auction, now naturally you're going to be a little skeptical because it's going to an auction. However, the auction company says, yeah, no, don't panic, because it's okay. You can't go and visit the property, but here's a video. Now, I'll answer the question. Answer the question now. If you're a property investor and you said that, and you're a property buyer, and they're saying that you can't view the property, how likely are you to go and want to buy that property? If you can buy it off a video, is that the same as going to touch and feel it? Give me a quick, would you buy it, yes or no? Less likely. Everyone's come back and said no, less likely. And so auction companies are feeling it too. They are feeling it massively. That's why I said they're now starting to work with deal sources, because we've got the buyers. We've got the people that will buy. Like that one property that I talked about in Liverpool, it didn't sell in auction. The auction company called me and said, Arsh, we're about to lose this instruction. The vendor is talking about going elsewhere. Have you got someone that will buy it instantly? I said, let's have a look at the figures. I looked at the figures and it made perfect sense for me. I put it up on the app, and literally, I'll tell you, let's have a quick look if I can show you the app. Let's have a quick look if I can show you the front end of the app. No, okay, so let's have a quick look. I'll tell you, I'll show you this property now. If you've never seen the Property Investor app, by the way, this is it. So this property, was it this one? Believe it or not, it's only a week or so ago. Here we go. Here was the property. So literally, this was the property. The agent sent us all the pictures. We've got all the pictures. We've got all the floor plans, and we put this up on the app, and we had about 6 people fighting over it. All the fees, the fees were there. Everything is transparent. Must be able to exchange immediately and complete within 28 days. Once it's exchanged, it's legally committed, which means that we can then be paid. And we did that instantly. So the auction house were calling me and saying, Arsh, we need to sell this property, otherwise we're going to lose the instruction. I sold it for them. They're now my best friends. They send me deals every day. There's so many different methods of how to source deals direct to vendors. So first of all, you've got social media. Don't underestimate the power of social media. Have a look at the letters. You can write letters to vendors who've got boards outside. So Rightmove is a phenomenal tool. Rightmove, Zoopla, and On the Market are phenomenal tools if you use them correctly. And the reason why I say that is because you can find agents advertising properties all over the country, and you could literally write to those vendors and say, guys, okay, I appreciate you've been on since March. I appreciate you've not had much luck. Are you interested in speaking to us, and we can try and either do a deal, or we can find you a buyer. Now, I've got these I've got three philosophies with property. You've got to buy it, sell it, or rent it. Can I buy it? Can I sell it? Or can I rent it? Buy, sell, rent. Buy, sell, rent. And I use this every day. And I speak to vendors. And when I speak to them, I said, well, can I buy the property? Can I get the figures to work? Can I get the figures to work? If so, yes, it's for me. If it's not for me, can I sell it to one of my investors? And that's where I'll package it and I make a fee from it. If I can't do any of that, or if the vendor is after a rent, could we do a rent to rent on it, and could we sell it out to one of our investors? So there's networking meetings. We're not talking about PIN meetings. We're talking about landlords networking meetings. So this is places where the RLA, the NLA that have now merged, and they hold meetings. And these are specifically for meetings. And also the councils hold meetings for local landlords. These are the ones that you want to be going to. And you want to be looking on property forums that actually landlords, not just so-called property investors on Facebook, will attend. And these are the guys that got real issues and real pain and motivation. Then you've got the older methods such as leafleting. Yes, you can send out leafleting. It is quite a prolonged approach, and the reason why I say that is because you've got to put out the best part of 100,000 leaflets every time in order to get a decent level of response, and that costs money. More importantly, you don't know when you're going to get a call back. I'd like to think that if someone says that they're gonna call back, when you send an advert out, or when you put a advert, or when you send a leaflet out, there's no guarantee that someone's going to call you. They'll call you when they're ready. There's no guarantee that when you write a letter to a vendor that they're going to call you back, because it all depends on how they interpret your letter. Also interprets the tone of the letter. Also depends on how much pain they've got, how much motivation they've got. So there's lots of things that needs to be taken into consideration. Now, estate agents, letting agents, and auction houses is a very powerful tool because they've done all the work for you. They've done all the work for you. They've got the vendor. They've got the vendor on site. They know how much they've got to pay for it, etc., etc. All you've got to do is work with the agents, and you make your money off them very simply. No transaction will ever be the same. And I say that's why it's really important to understand all the different methods, the below market value, the market value, the rent to rent, the lease options, because by then looking at all these angles, you can then literally do a deal with every deal. And the one thing that I'll put at the bottom here, the person who is the most strategic will be the most successful. And that's why I believe I am one of the most successful in deal trading and deal sourcing, because I understand all the strategies. Every deal I look at, I monetize. I monetize every single deal. Does that kind of make sense? So all the property portals, all the information that you require is right in front of you. It's not rocket science. I say this genuinely. I'm not a clever guy. I'm a very simple guy. For those that meet me, I'm a very simple, down-to-earth guy. I literally look at all the information and I make them do all the hard work, and then I literally come in and monetize it. And I say that with the best of respect. And the reason why I say that is because all the information, the agent has already taken all the photos for you. They've already drawn the floor plan for you. They've already created everything for you. They've got the room sizes for you. All you've got to do is literally monetize that lead and that deal. Now, one of the toughest people to work with is a family member. And I say that with the best of respect. Now, here's a property. Now, just so you know, I've got my website. It's tincroftcottage.co.uk. Here's a deal that someone bought to me. Someone bought to me. So one of my mentees bought to me, a chap called Colin, and he goes, oh, she goes, I've got this vendor. The vendor lives abroad. He's got a property down in Cornwall. And he goes that he wants to sell it on a below market value deal. And I said, why does he want to do that? And I said, can we get this guy on a conference call? And so he was based over in Tokyo. And so we had him on a Skype call, and we agreed by the end of that call, by understanding his pain and the motivation, we literally negotiated a 10-year rent-to-rent deal. And we've also put, when we say 10-year rent-to-rent with option to purchase, it is a lease option. We also managed to negotiate a 6-month rent-free period. Now, I use this now as my second home. So I'm actually going down there next Saturday. Now that lockdown and we've managed to get back into Cornwall, we're actually going down there. So I use this as a service accommodation unit or a holiday let, shall we call it. And it generates for me now around £2,000 a month, which is approximately £24,000 per annum. Initially offered for sale, but structured as a lease option. Wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the skills to source it. Now, the reason why I say that is because my wife was the head of that project. And toughest person to teach is a person that is surrounded by it daily. And so Shireen, my wife, she understands everything that I do. But me then trying to teach her about it. She was a former deputy head teacher. She's a full-time mom of 2 children, my 2 kids. She's got no property experience, but I've managed to get her within a very short space of time, replace her income with simply 2 properties, which has allowed her to bought her time back to enjoy life, enjoy time with her kids when they're not driving her up the bend, and enjoy flexible working hours. Now, the service accommodation literally takes her 1 hour a week. We've got another property here. And when I say we've got another property, these are deals that she's done. This is a 6-bed HMO and a 1-bedroom flat. Been vacant 3 years due to lack of funds. Agreed at a 7-year rent-to-rent deal. 3-month rent-free period. Option to purchase within the future. And now produces around £1,200 a month. So between the 2 properties, they generate around 3,200, which is the best part of 40 grand a year, which kind of replaces her income. And these are the actual figures of what the property generates. And you know, the property doesn't look like this now. This was how when we took the property on. Now the property actually looks like almost like a showroom. So the property is fully occupied and always has been. Now, you want more case studies? I've got over 200 other properties that have all been sourced by myself and other members of my mentorship group. You can go to the App Store and type in Property Investor, or you can go to propertyinvestorapp.co.uk. See all the deals there. Okay, so there's a question coming in by Mal. There's another couple of questions. So actual figures, please. Okay, so there's the actual figures. So there's a case that there's the actual figures. Room 1's rented at £550 a month. Room 2, £500 a month. So the rents to the landlord, we're actually paying. Let's have a look. I think it's either on this one, it's £900 a month. Yeah, so we're paying the landlord £100 a month. We've had it over a 7-year agreement with a 3-year rent-free period. And so that's the actual.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
No. So
okay.
So that's Siri. So you want more case studies? We've got 200 other properties all on the app. So Kimberly's coming in with some questions, etc. Don't panic. These are all deals, all sold to investors. So these deals are all on the app. So this week alone, these are all the deals that we've sold to our investors. Birmingham sold, Swansea sold. When we say sold, we've got reservations on them. Swansea sold. Lancashire could have sold that 50 times over. Normanton sold. Coventry, Jay's deal sold. Lease option sold. That's a lease option of 6 properties in Sunderland with 1 vendor. We charged £24,000 fee on that one deal alone. Kent sold. Liverpool rent-to-rent opportunity sold. 4-bed HMO in Luton. We've got negotiations going on that, but as good as sold. Torquay sold. Warrington sold. Hull sold. Now, the reason why I'm talking to you about this is because, you know, everyone knows about some of the programs that I run. Now, just so that you know, I run a program called the Elite Property Trial, which is a 12-month mentorship. I'm now literally created an online version of it, and it's called the Elite Property Circle. And what the Elite Property Circle is, it's literally a 52-week module program. So every Monday, I release a new module. And it covers all the bases of all the cash flow strategies, how to cover all these different angles so that you can start to source every single one of these properties. So deal trading, rent to rent, lease options, HMO, service accommodation, commercial to residential. They're the 6 key areas. But what we've done is we broke it down. I've listened to what everyone said over the last year. They want a program that they can pay for monthly. So I've broke it into 3 actual sections. We've got a basic package, we've got a standard package, and then we've got the elite package. So literally, the program starts the first Monday in August, but we're taking registrations for it straight away. And we're going to do a special deal on it tonight. So you pay $300 to $399 a month, depending on the package that you want. So you can start any time. It's 52 weekly modules, and it's a 12-month membership to all course content. So you get all the course content for the basic, and then for the standard, you actually, as a result of having the standard, you actually get lifetime membership to all the course content. So you get to download and keep all the courses. You get private access to a Facebook group, and you get a 40% discount on any live workshops that we do. And then the bonus, the elite one, is that you get a scheduled one-to-one monthly coaching call, which is for the best part of half an hour. You get exclusive access to JV, to my database. So just so you know, all these packages, you get to JV with my deals with my database. There's one free live workshop included. You get access to a private WhatsApp group and Facebook group, and then opportunities again to sell deals to my database. So on this workshop, you get to know how to start in property immediately, how to understand the theory of making money and deal sorting, and then the actual practical day-to-day aspects of it. So one thing that Jay said, which resonated with me, is that lots of people teach the theory, they don't teach you the practical. I can all talk to you about what a HMO does. I want to show you what a HMO does. I want to show you what a deal looks like. I don't want to just talk to you about what a deal looks like. Have access to all the documents, legals, and templates to get source, package, and sell deals instantly. You get access to a network of like-minded, motivated property investors. You get to be trained by me. So all the recordings are of me actually providing them for you. You have the freedom to plan your training around your commitments, family, and work. And then you've got a 52-week program to work through at your own pace, stacked with webinars, documents, links to websites, expert advice, articles, and videos. So what we're trying to do is make sure that you understand that you know how to train your mindset to tackle the ups and downs of property. We teach you all the different strategy types and how they work for you. We look at all the legislation around being a property trader. We look at how to create the perfect advert, how to maximize your output, how to get, we'll have guest speakers doing some talks on strategic financing so that if there was a deal that you liked, you can have it yourself. We give you all the details for rent to rent, paperwork for rent to rent, and how to negotiate the terms. We look at how to sell the ideal of lease options to vendors and agents. We look at how to package lease options and knowing what you charge. And if you want to know more about it, all you do is click this link below, Elite Property Online, bit.ly/Elite Property Online. Or alternatively, you can go to elitepropertycircle.co.uk. So if you're watching, if you've got a question, stay online because we're going straight to the Q&A in a session. So, like I said, it's a 52 module program. A new module gets released every Monday, and you can only release a module providing that you've done the previous module. You pay for it monthly, so it's a monthly. So you've got 300, 349, and 399 program, depending on the level that you'd like to join onto. And what we're doing today, and this is only for tonight. If you join today, you can have the elite package for the price of the standard package. So you can have the whole package there for the cost of the standard package, which is 349. But that's only for tonight. Anyone that joins after tonight will not get that. And that's only because this is the first session that we're doing training that. So 349 a month. Okay, so one question that says, how will I benefit from your training as an investor? You'll benefit from it by understanding and adapting your mindset so that you look at every deal in a new light. Every deal that you look at, you should be looking at a new light. So should I be looking at it from a point of view, can I get, giving you an example, can you get your money in and get your money back out? So making the deal the no money down deal. So not having your money tied up into a property deal is something that I actually specialize in. You'll learn all the different strategies so that you're not stuck as that one trick pony. So there's lots of ways that you'll benefit. Okay, so will I still pay sourcing fees? If you're buying a deal, yes, you will pay a sourcing fee. And the reason why is because obviously you've got to appreciate that lots of deals have come from other people, so they need to be paid. Does that kind of make sense? So one thing I'll say is, I'll leave that there. I'm going to answer a load of questions. Ask away now. Ask away any questions. So I'm going to quickly go through. Okay. If you've got any questions, ask away. Okay. So Godfrey says, how up to date is the app on deal? How up to date is the deals on the app? They're very up to date. So they get updated daily. So as soon as something gets reserved, we make it. We've got a whole support team that does that. So Mal says, hi, just a question. When there is a property on sale with an agent, how do we pass the agent and contact the vendor? Mal, okay, let me answer this question very clearly, extremely clearly. If you go and try and bypass the agent, you potentially, no, not potentially, you will damage your reputation with that agent. And remember, a vendor probably only has one, maybe two properties. How many properties does an estate agent have a year? They have hundreds of properties a year. So by you cutting them out, stop thinking short term, start thinking long term. Does that kind of make sense? So don't cut the agent out, work with the agent. Remember, they make their money off the seller. You make your money off the buyer. Why would you want to cut them out? They're your funnel for finding you deals day in, day out. So Kimberly says, how do you secure exclusivity for how long? So just so that you know, you can secure exclusivity. You don't need to secure exclusivity for months on end. Sometimes you may just secure exclusivity for a couple of days. You may secure exclusivity for a week, but it all comes down to you and your relationship. So Cherm Singh says, can I partner with you to market my own deals via the app? You're more than welcome to upload your deals onto the app, and we work on a 50-50 split fee basis. That's how the app operates. So Oki says, do you only take deals from your mentees? No, if you've got a deal and you want to send it us, you're more than welcome to contact us on the app, and we'll send you the process as to what to do to upload the deal. Just so that you know, Ogie, we won't appraise your property. We'll just literally look at the figures and say yes or no. And if it doesn't work, we'll just say, sorry, it's not for the app. If it's a mentee, yes, we do appraise it. So Richard says, how many months is a commitment for? So Richard, just so that you know, it is a 52-week program, so it's a 12-month program. So, but in terms of commitment, if you don't pay that month, you'll be locked out of the program, which means that you won't get the next month's modules. So in terms of commitment wise, there really isn't a commitment. If you don't get all 52 modules from the outset, they're drip fed every month. They're drip fed every Monday. So you get 4 modules every Monday. Sorry, you get 1 module every Monday. And if your payment hasn't come in for the next month, you won't get released the next modules. So again, work on the basis. Work on the basis that you're going to be fulfilling the whole program, if that makes sense. Joseph, you're already on the Elite Property Tribe, so I'm not one of these people that says that you've got to join loads of programs. Stay on the Elite Property Tribe. This is the Elite Property Circle. So, okay, so Kite says, if I source a property and add it to your database, the sourcing fee is £4,000. What's your commission? Okay, so we work on a 50-50 split fee basis. Not every deal is £4,000. We need to appraise to see, if you're finding me a single let property with very little discounts or anything like that, you're not going to get £4,000 for it. So you've got to be very careful about that. So Kathleen says, once you find a deal via an agent, how are the agent's fees sorted out? So remember what I said, the agent makes their money from the seller, you make your money from the buyer. Does that make sense, Kathleen? So they're not losing any income by dealing with you. So Pradip said, is this a 52-week agreement? As I've just said, you literally, it's a month-by-month basis. I'd like you to be on it for the whole program, but if you don't pay the next month, you don't get released the next month's modules, which kind of makes it pointless. So yes, yes, it would be good for you to look at this as a 52-week program. John says, do we have to attend all 52 weeks? Same question, same answer. Okay. So David says, do we still have to be compliant with the property ombudsman, professional indemnity and money laundering, or are we covered by the Elite Property Circle? No, if you're sourcing the deal, you would still need to be compliant. The one thing that I would say is that because the property app is selling the deals, technically speaking, and this is a grey area, I don't mind mentioning that this is a grey area, because we're the one dealing with the investor and we're actually receiving the finder's fee. That's what is considered co-sourcing. As a result of co-sourcing, you technically don't need to be compliant because the property investor app is. Does that make sense? Okay, James says, we get lots of questions about what the conditions about selling to my database. Okay, so what are the conditions for selling to your database? Can we do that despite not having joined the program? I would love to join the program, but I'm already a mentor. So what are the terms? Okay, so James, if you've got a deal, you send it, go onto the app, send us a message saying that you've got a deal. We'll send you the process as to what to do in order to sell your deal. So you've got to send us the details. You've got to send us all the information. We're currently having a website ready so that you can upload. We should be ready within the next month. Off the back of that, you send us information. We work on a 50-50 split fee basis, and then we go from there. So Paula says, if I find deals and they're sold on your app, do I get a fee or do I share the fee with you, or do you take a commission? It's a 50-50 split on the fee, Paula. So Ngozi says, is it £300 monthly? Yes. So depending on the package that you join, £300 is a basic package, £349 per calendar, so £300 a month is a basic package, £349 a month is the standard package, and then £399 a month is the elite package. But obviously, each one of them have got their own benefits. Okay, so where do I find investors? What platform? So George, okay, so just so that you know, I'll give you the very easy way. You could literally go on Facebook and find investors. However, by doing that, you're not benefiting. And the reason why I say that, I see this every day. I see people literally go on there and say, I've got a deal, and yes, you might build a database, but I call it a plastic database because there's no way of qualifying these people as to the kind of deals that you've got. And all you will do, you'll find loads of people run you around ragged and not buy anything. I've been there and I've done that. You've got to create a database of buyers. So you've got to put yourself in a position where you've got people who are actually serious about doing deals. And I've built up a database, and there are so many places that you could do. You've got to be looking at landlords that already own properties and targeting these guys as opposed to the social media, let's call them plastic investors. And sorry if you think that's you, but I'm not putting this out there, not to belittle anyone. Okay, so Daniel says, what's your fee for putting the deal? It's a 50-50 split on the fee. So if the finance fee is £4,000, we charge £2,000 for that. Okay, so what areas are you based? I'm actually based in Wolverhampton, but we cover the whole of the UK. So James says, hi Arsh, you basically answered my question. How do I get in touch? Are you with you to start selling deals via your app? Send us a message on the app and I'll send you the process. Okay, please, the name of the database again. Sorry, it's Elite. Sorry, the Property Investor app is my platform. So Sharon says, Arsh, 52 weeks is so long to go through the day. Do you have an offer to do quicker? That's so long. Yes, Sharon, I'll tell you what we can do. If you're interested, again, one thing that we could probably do is, I hadn't thought about that, if I'm honest. We can probably structure it in a much lesser time. If you wanted to join the program, then we could probably structure it. If you wanted to join the program tonight just to get you the discount, what I can do is work out a way to get you that information a lot quicker. Sharon, does that make sense? Murray, do you split the fee if I find an investor for one of your deals? Murray, just so that you know, that's okay. So Murray's saying if I've got the deal and he finds an investor for it. So just so you know, Murray, we don't struggle for investors. We probably need more deals than we do investors because we've got more investors than we've got deals right now. The one thing I would say to you, Murray, is that if you've got an investor, we would want you to charge your fee on top of what we charge. The reason being is that chances are that someone's already bought us the deal and we're doing a 50-50 with them. Okay, so yeah, Kimberly says, can you pay the year up front to download all the content straight away if I binge watch? Absolutely. Absolutely, Kimberly. Got no issue with that. So if you want to do that, please get in contact with me. Do you have to be HMRC, money laundering registered and other regulation expenses? I've kind of covered that, Richard. So if you're co-sourcing with me, you don't necessarily have to have it. If I was going to give you the 100% political answer, I would say it's always good for you to be registered. Okay. So Ogie says, can we contact you anytime with questions? If you've got a deal, yes, I'll put you. So if you're in the elite program, you'll be in a WhatsApp group with me. So what you can do, answer any questions, etc., and go from there. Does that make sense? Is this webinar being recorded? Yes, it is. Okay, so if I get deals, I'll send them over to you. Will you be able to help get a commission? I won't appraise. If you're not part of the program, I won't appraise them. I'll literally say, sorry, not for me. I won't appraise it. That takes a lot of my time, and that my time is very precious. If you're part of my program, yes, I will spend 10 minutes on going through the deal with you, like I've done with Jay and a number of other people. I do have a number of deals in the Southwest. Okay, let's have a look at them. Do you do auction deals as well? Yes, we do, Lewis. If we ourselves wanted to live in the lease option house, can we use your database to source for this? Okay, if we ourselves wanted to live in a lease option house, can we use your database? Absolutely, good, yeah. Okay, so would you consider buying land as a co-deal? Absolutely, yes, we do land deals. If you look on the app, we've got some land deals there at the moment. We've actually sold 4 land deals in the last month. Okay, I know I'd be needing access to the rent-to-rent sourcing first. Would this be part of the program first? Yes, I'll tell you what, Murray. Yeah, I could structure it so that if you wanted a certain amount of content first, then I'm sure we could put that out accordingly. I just need to ask my guys how they can do that. But yeah, if there's specific content that you wanted first, yeah, I could make that happen for you. I'm not yet part of your program. Can you still do business with me? Absolutely, Lewis. If you've got a deal, again, as I said, I won't appraise your deals because you're not part of my program. But if you are part of the program, yes, we'll spend time going through your deal. Okay, so Sergey says, amazing honesty and transparency on your answers and responses, Arsh. You are awesome. Thank you very much, Sergey. Can I pass on a deal to you if I wasn't in your program? Amjad, yes, you can. We work on a 50-50 split fee basis. However, I won't appraise your deal. I'll literally just look at it and say yes or no. So I do want to do your course. However, I just did a few and plan to start later. Remember, that's fine. Got no issue with that. So I think I've answered all the questions and all within good time as well. That's brilliant. So if you, just so that you know, I'll quickly, someone says, can you just show me quickly the website? Here we go. So if you go to elitepropertycircle.co.uk, or you can follow that bit.ly link. So here's what you'll do. So this is literally an online course. So let's have a quick look. On the course, here's what you'll get. So you've got the 3 packages there, and you can literally join now by pressing any of those buttons there. Okay, so Yoni says, great session, Arsh. I'm on another mentorship program. Is there a cooling off period if I sign up to yours? Just so that you know, you only have to purchase the 1 month. After the 1 month, if you decide it's not for you, then obviously you don't pay the second month. There's no commitment in there. Again, go through all the questions. So literally, we've got monthly. You've got 3-tier memberships. You can pay according to how it works for you. So feel free to have a look at it. I've got a blog. I've got the whole program there. Again, if you want to go through the app, got no issue with that. Let's finally, and then the one thing I should say to you, we've still got quite a few people. Is anyone still interested? The one thing I should say to you is that the Property Investor app, as a member, you can use the leverage of the Property Investor app to negotiate your deals with your vendors and agents. You can become the go-to person in your area. And then finally, as I said at the start of the program, if anyone does want to lose weight, at the start of the program, I said that I've lost 6 kilos over the last 30 days, and I'm feeling fitter, I'm looking better, I'm looking cleaner. And this was one of my goals for 2020, that I wanted to become in the best shape of the best shape that I've been in the last 10 years. All you got to do, if you want to come into a WhatsApp group with me, you just literally got to go to that bit.ly link there, bit.ly/shed the weight. It is letter intensive, and you can come on a 30-day challenge with me, where I'm going to be saying, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm eating, here's what I'm going out for a walk now for a mile, etc. And you can become part of that program, and together let's lose some weight. Okay, so Brendan says, with the online course, I assume you missed the one-to-one with how to deal and structure phone calls, or is this in the modules? So if you're on the elite package, yes, you get those one-to-one calls. So that's part of the program. And like I said, anyone that joins today, you will get the elite package for the standard price, which is $349. So you're saving yourself £50 a month. So if anyone wants to join, okay, so Kenneth says, do I need any registration with any organisation? So if you're becoming a deal sourcer, Kenneth, yes, you need to become a member of the Property Redress Scheme. You need to have some insurance in place for professional and indemnity insurance. You need to have a membership with the ICO, which is the Information Commissions Officer. And you need to also have a live registration with the anti-money laundering regulations. But as I said, if you trade with the app, the way that we operate is that we get you to, the way that we operate is that you'll be co-sourcing with us. And off the back of that, we will literally, we'll be selling the deals to our investors, which means that you'll be working under our registration. Does that make sense? Are there any other questions? Is everything you mentioned regarding legalities included in the program? Yes, it is, Daniel. That's one of the very first modules, to make sure that you understand all the legalities. I think it's module 2, 3, or 4, one of them. Remember, the modules get released from the 1st of August. We're going to start it from the 1st of August, and we go from there. Is there any other questions? Okay, when you source for investors, you project manage the work, and do you? No, I don't. Ngozi, no, I don't. And the reason being is that you can do that, but by you then starting to become the project manager and stuff like that, you're taking time away from sourcing. You'll get too busy. You got to remember, if I did the best part of 500 deals last year, there's no way that I'd be able to project manage and find and manage less 500 odd deals. I would have become far too busy and not been able to do anything. Does that make sense? So this is the reason why don't get too bogged down into those details. So, okay, so no, Brendan, so what you do, my friend, is, so Brendan says, if you're joining tonight, sorry, I should have made this a little bit clearer. If you're joining tonight, literally, you go to the page here and you click, you join the standard program where it says join now, and I will automatically uplift you onto the elite program. So that's what you do. So you join the standard, because then you'll be paying the 349 as opposed to the 399. And then off the back of that, I will get that done. I will get that done. So sorry. So someone's just asked a question about the. So Murray says, am I in the office tomorrow? Yes, I'm in the office tomorrow. Amjad says, what strategy do you use the most? There's not one specific strategy that I use. I look at every deal independently, and as a result of that, that's when I decide which strategy is the best to use. Remember, no two deals are the same. Do you have a team that will do it? Will do what? Sorry, negotiate. What, that will manage it? Okay, so Mal says the weight loss WhatsApp group is not a WhatsApp address. That is a shortened address for, if I was to put the full WhatsApp address, obviously it would be quite, I've just shortened it. So if you type in that, it will take you to a WhatsApp address. Brendan, okay, I'm in a power team that will project manage. If I'm honest, Ngozi, no, we don't. I don't want to project manage. I don't want to be in a position where we're trying to project manage for you or other investors, and it takes our focus off from sourcing. We make more money from sourcing than I would from project managing one deal. Okay, so Kimberly said, if you don't appraise the deals from non-mentees, is your company taking the risk if the deal is not what it seems, i.e. and the investor is unhappy? No. Okay, so Kimberly, just so that you know, if we're not happy with the deal, it won't go on the app. No one could publish. The only person that can publish a property on the app is my team in the office, and that will only get published once I'm happy with that deal. So just so you know, it won't go on unless we're happy with the information. So does that kind of make sense? Okay, so that kind of brings us to a kind of a close. If you've got any questions you want to ask, feel free to give us a call in the office tomorrow. Like I said, generally I am in the office, more than happy to have a chat. So Brendan says just join. Thank you, Brendan. Okay, I'll process everything in the morning because it is Sunday evening. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask, and then let's get this moving forward from there. But yeah, Brendan, if you have joined, then I look forward to working with you, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Brilliant, guys. On that note, everyone said thank you very much. Fantastic content and fantastic, and really enjoyed the app. And I'll speak to you all. I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Good night. God bless.